Well, kia ora and welcome. Happy Tuesday. If you're watching this live with us, I am Monique Bradley.
Hello, yes, I'm Pete Ward. How are you?
Oh, really good. Thank you, Pete Ward. Thank you.
How are you, everybody?
Going?
Yeah.
How are you guys going? Really excited to be here with you today. We love these lunch and learn sessions, and it's an opportunity to share some of the insights that we've gained over the last 10 years of being accidental marketers. Because like most business owners, you get into a business, right? So we actually started in the entertainment industry as musicians. I was a magician and educator. Pete's come from education as well. We started promoting ourselves out there and literally fell into media and marketing because people saw the types of media and marketing that we did and said, hey, can you do that for us too? So,
absolutely, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so we became accidental marketers and have helped hundreds of businesses get themselves out there, and this academy and these chats are really about sharing some of the insights and knowledge and expertise we've gained by making a lot of mistakes and having a lot of successes, and we're here to share that with you. Before we jump into today's topic, Pete, anything you want to share, because I know you're here in mission control and you're keeping an eye on everything and making sure everything's turning up. Is everything looking good?
Everything's looking good, everything's sounding good. I can hear just making sure it's all there.
Perfect.
So now I can focus on you.
Excellent.
And you.
Oh.
So, yeah, I would like to say, welcome. And look, please take notes if you want and get something out of this. We're going to accidentally rabbit on for a little bit. We've got a timer up there today, so we're going to watch that one and keep ourselves within our time.
Because we like to talk.
Because we do like to talk a lot. So welcome.
Yeah.
And where are we going to kick this thing off? Are we?
We are. We're going to jump straight in today. So today's lunch and learn. We always focus on ways that you can get yourself out there, and today's lunch and learn came from some events that we've been turning up to more recently and things that we've been involved in, and we really started opening up that question: what is better, online or offline marketing?
Very interesting.
Very contentious. So
That's
we're going to
right.
share with you some insights and examples of things that work really, really well and how it can actually work together. Oh, don't want to give the game away. Let's jump into it, Pete.
Okay.
By the way, if you've got any questions at all, feel free to shoot those through. We're happy to help. And welcome to everybody watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, and across multiple Facebook pages. That's right. We like to get ourselves out there everywhere. So today's topic is online versus offline. And it's pretty exciting.
That's great.
We're going to jump straight into the...
just jump into the slide. I was just going to say that kind of all happened because somebody suggested that the only way to do your marketing was offline, and then they proceeded to list a whole lot of online things that they did to get people to their offline marketing. So we went, hold on a moment, let's ask ourselves that question. So that's where we got.
What is better?
So,
and in fact, I love it when those we see those things in news feeds that say you'll never need to use Facebook advertising ever again. But how did, if you follow the system, but how did they get that message to me?
It was a sponsored ad, that's right, exactly.
Advertising.
Exactly.
So there's at the core of it, have a listen to what we've got to share and make the best decision for you. And
Absolutely.
sometimes that decision will be governed on by your values, your time frames, on how much time you can give to your marketing efforts and getting yourself out there efforts, whether you're a people connector, whether you're a super introvert and you don't like interfacing with humans at all. Make this work on your own terms.
Absolutely. So the first one there we've got up on the screen is networking groups. Now, networking groups are fantastic. We are getting out to more and more of them after not being able to do some of them, but of course we did the online versions as well. Look, I still find that fantastic. A little bit harder because you can't speak to everyone or whoever you want to, because unless they do breakout rooms. So here's the thing: go to meet amazing people. Don't go there to flog your business. Meet the people and form relationships, because the world needs that. That's what makes the world go round. Once you find some people in common, you might spend extra time hanging out. You might meet them afterwards, go for a coffee, that kind of thing, or a beer or something or whatever, and you'll find commonalities. But if you go in there all blazing, going, oh, this is what I do and I'm here and here's my business card, flog, icky. Ew. Ugh. Do not, no. 1 star, would not recommend.
Would not recommend.
What do you think, Monique?
Yeah, look, I totally agree. At the core of it, regardless of whether your ideal client buys online or in real life, they buy from people. So that's why a lot of businesses say, for example, we know a friend of ours owns a jewellery business. She doesn't necessarily want to go on camera, but she uses a lot of influencers to do her marketing outreach. Why? Because people want to buy from people. It's the same sort of thing. And networking groups serve that purpose, except that the transaction happens after a long process of getting to know people first. Otherwise, it's like walking into a bar and walking up to somebody going, hey, you want to get it on? It's a little bit confrontational. It's a little bit too desperate. But walk into a bar, make eye contact with somebody, get to know them, see if there's alignments in your values, see if you're on the same track. Then consider having a drink together, like gentle. Build better relationships, and sales will happen as a byproduct of that. So networking groups are fantastic for that. And in fact, I think nearly 10 years ago, Pete signed me up for a women's business networking group here in New Zealand called the Venus Network. Thank you, Pete.
Yep.
And I have built such incredible business connections through that network. There's women all around New Zealand in the group. We all have different skills and expertise. We've made a lot of referrals through for each other. But again, it's about taking that time to get to know people. I've also just recently signed up for a BNI group. So it's a breakfast networking group, and they are a global organisation as well. And I'm meeting a different clientele. So when you're thinking about joining a networking group, think about who are you trying to connect with. Whether you're trying to connect with people who will stretch and grow you, or whether you're purely trying to connect with people who are going to become your ideal client. All these networking groups do different things. They have different target markets attending. So be really savvy if you are going to join one, because you've only got a certain amount of dollars to spend on a membership. So be really considered about which groups you want to join.
Absolutely.
Any other things you'd like to add to that?
Just a shout out to a couple of people. There's Jeffrey Hughes-Bus. We met him at a networking group, and we've just somehow still stay in contact. You know, it's just one of those things. Grant Feiner, of course. We've met Harmy, who runs. Well, actually, you're wearing Harmy today.
I am wearing
this
Harmy
is Harmy,
today.
right?
I was just checking my computer to see
we've got to make sure. We met Harmy at one of Grant's events. We still she's now like family to us, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
She's adopted us. We've adopted her, Ange over in Australia.
I met
her
through the
Venus. It's right at the very start.
10 years ago.
Was Rachel part of that?
Rachel Thompson,
Smarter Mortgage Lady. Shout out to you.
We've been friends with her
I
for
was going to
5
say,
6 years.
she was here in our lounge yesterday, so she's still hanging around. Can't get rid of you, Rachel. So, no worries.
So, again, because I've had that time to get to know these people and their businesses, we've become great friends, but also we've done referral work for each other, or in some instances actually worked together professionally, and that's been really advantageous. What I like about it too, Pete, is because we've had that time to get to know each other, we've built a huge amount of trust with each other. And when you're really wanting to do some great work in your business, trust is one of those highest, most important values that will keep you aligned and keep you on track.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So, should you do it?
Yes.
Yes. Nice and easy.
What have we got next?
Okay, next point. Events and conferences.
Great.
Should you get yourself out there using events and conferences? Pete, what are your thoughts on that? I know we've written up some notes. Have a look at your notes.
Right, I've just had a look at the notes there. Now, look, shared experience is what we're talking about here. We're talking about there's two types of sides of it. You can be on the stage doing the speaking, or you can be sitting in the audience. Now, we're kind of talking about sitting in the audience for this one, because being on the stage is a whole different thing. But it's the same thing. You're with peers. So for a start, Monique's going to talk about that. But one of the things is that you probably, in my kind of opinion, will pick up one kind of major wow moment.
Yes.
And don't worry about the fact that if you're not picking up more than just one, because you're there, you're focused, you're concentrating, and then you'll just hear that one thing and you'll just go, wow, it could actually change your business, change your life. That kind of thing. So if you're picking up something, if you're walking away from a conference that you didn't pick up, then you probably weren't paying attention enough, or maybe you were the wrong demographic for them. Maybe it was aimed at a certain person, and you fell outside it. I find sometimes some conferences have to pick a lower common denominator. For example, if it's about marketing, they have to assume that you don't know a lot about marketing. So if you're a marketing person, you're sitting there going, well, that's basic 101, that's okay, because they weren't really aiming at you. So, but generally in speaking, look for the gem. Find the gem.
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember the first time I went to quite a big business conference some years ago, and it was the first time where I felt like somebody was actually giving back to my brain. I'm in a position where I speak a lot, I share a lot of ideas, I'm constantly giving out. So to go to a conference, have myself go into my own brain and start thinking, wow, how does that key point or that nugget that Pete's talking about, that mic drop moment, how does it resonate for me? How is it changing my thinking? Conferences are great for that. If we come back and the shared experience that you have at a conference, amazing. I just dropped my earring on the floor. Show must go on. What I also like about it is that normally if you're at a conference, you're associating yourself with people who are at a similar business level to you. So as a way to expand your network, having those breakout moments or those lunch times where you can move out of what you've just learnt and move into facing people and starting to get to know them is critically important in your business. And what's great too, if we look at the transition between online to offline, if we're in an offline world at a conference, we can then start connecting with those people, as an example, in LinkedIn, like we're doing with you guys today. So it is an opportunity to expand your network, but in a different playing field. You're moving more in that business to business network. And even if you may not have considered that those people might be your ideal client, it's not just them that you're marketing to. Remember that networking in this instance is not just about the people who are in front of you. It's the people that they know, getting access to their networks as well. So I would highly recommend that go to stretch and grow yourself, but grow to reach out to other networks that you currently don't have access to. Tell people your story, tell them your truth, your value, your genius, and let them do the marketing for you. How's that for a mic drop? Do you like that one?
Love it.
I don't even know if that was what I was supposed to talk about. My notes say,
it's all about your peers.
Surround yourself with people who are also growing.
Right. Yep.
Totally agree.
Yep.
There you go.
All right.
Excellent.
What have we got?
Next point. Joining associations. Now we're part of a few different associations. So Pat, do you want to talk into your point there? Having a look at the notes that we wrote very late last night.
Okay, so what you're finding here when you join an association is that you're finding peers and you're finding support. And Monique was talking before about getting back, like being given back to. So, often, especially for us when we're coaching, we're always giving out. So it's really nice to go to an association and be off the clock, so to speak, in that sense that we don't have to give out to anybody because you're all in the same boat. You're all in that association because you're all doing the same thing and you're all at the same level. So it's really nice to have a speaker at the association up there giving out to you. And once again, it's very similar to a conference that you can look for those gems, look for those moments, and it's not a competition, but it is. So you can learn from anyone, and you can learn what to do, and you can learn what not to do. And go make your notes and go, cool, this is great. But again, it's not a nasty competition. It's about finding equals in the game and going, hey, wow, cool, and being supportive and supported. So,
that's a really good point.
Yep.
What I like about the associations that we're part of, and I will give a shout out to those in a couple of minutes, is that you're there for a common purpose as well, or a common goal. So usually you join, say, a business association because you're a business owner or entrepreneur in a particular district, or it's an association that is about your industry. So there's like the marketing association. We're part of the Auckland Chamber of Commerce. It's a way for us to connect with other business owners here in the wider Auckland area. So you're there because of the same reason. And like Pete said, you can learn from others. So people who are more successful. So say, example, if you're new to marketing and you join the marketing association, and there are bigger companies out there who have done more work than you, who are doing better than you, it's a great way for you to learn from others. In the other instances, however, we've been in a position where we're on the board for the Grey Lynn Business Association, and we've been part of other business associations before as well. That's about the common purpose, or sharing the common purpose and helping shape the vision for our local area. So being able to work more in an advocacy role and a business expansion role is our way to give back to our community. So there's lots of different reasons why you should join an association. So it's less about, for me, about thinking of how I want to market myself or my business or sales, and it's more about the personal growth of you. So I think that's really, really important. The other organisation I want to give a shout out to is, in fact, the Professional Speakers Association of New Zealand. And Monica Moore is the president of that association, and she's an absolute star of a woman, really excited about helping develop other professional speakers here in New Zealand, raise the bar, raise the calibre of the product that we as speakers deliver. Again, it's an association that we're part of because we are both speakers in our own right. We've been doing it for years. And what I loved was going to the association. I had this paradigm shift where I didn't just think about our business, We Do Famous. I didn't just think about Sky TV Channel 83, which we're also involved in. It was about the business of being Monique Bradley. It's about the business of being Pete Ward and the stories that we share. So being able to join an association which is focused on you and the value that you give through that common interest, where people are doing better than you are, or they've been doing it longer, it's, again, something juicy for your brain. It's giving back to yourself, and you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people who get it. You don't have to qualify who you are. You're all in the same game together. And I think there's, especially if you are a solopreneur or a business owner who is just working by yourself, it's great to have that network of supportive people who just are on the same wavelength.
Yeah, definitely.
How's that? That was the long of the short of it.
That was the short version. Yeah. People, what have we got next? Sorry for looking around a little bit there during
I was
Monique's.
wondering what was going on there.
One of our recording devices doesn't have any audio going into it, so I'm pretty much just crossing my fingers. I just wanted to check that people do have sound, and I can have sound. I checked that. So
perfect.
I'm okay with that, but it's just a little bit perturbing when you look down and realise that it may not be recording and you wanted to use it afterwards. So things go wrong, people. We're live.
We are live.
And we fix them up and carry on.
That's true.
We've lost an earring, we've lost sound.
Lost an earring, yep.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
what
still
we've got.
look fabulous.
Okay, here we go.
So we're talking about the difference
Looks
between
like
online and offline marketing. We've been talking about offline first because we also are party people by nature. We like to connect with people in real life.
Yep.
But what about online? Is online the only answer, Pete?
Online is, well, we've already talked offline, so online is definitely not the only answer. On its own, standalone, online marketing is just being pushy. Just, you're not building a relationship. So your online marketing, you need to build relationships with people as well. Just because you're offline and you're meeting people in person doesn't mean that they can't learn who you are through social media, for example, using videos, using live streams. I mean, you're watching this live stream, you can kind of get to know who we are and whether you want to do anything with us. Hopefully you do. Yeah. But pretty much looking at online is going to be your stalkability factor. Yeah. So people are going to, first they'll meet you or they'll hear about you and then they'll stalk you. First thing they'll do, Google you. Like, that's what I do anyway. I mean, I know you do as well. There's a lot of people,
pretty much everybody I know. If we've been to networking events, the first thing people do is, oh, who are you? What do you do? They grab their phone and they're either connecting in LinkedIn or they're Googling you.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So what turns up is what they're going to believe. So if have you
Googled yourself, by the way? Just putting that out there.
Actually, really good point. So if the last post you did was, December 2019, or whatever it is, and that's the last business post you did, and they search for your business, they're going to go, well, that person obviously isn't serious about their business because there's no, should be something fresh, at least from relevant from last week at least. 3 times a week is a good time to
post and social.
Rhythm. I was looking for the right word. To just keep yourself up to speed, especially and look, if you have to just pick one platform, if you're going to do LinkedIn, we're on LinkedIn right now, just do LinkedIn. Don't worry about Instagram if you just think, I can't do too many. So yeah, just pick one and just be consistent.
Yes, I totally agree. So social media, especially using LinkedIn, is actually really important to help you get yourself out there. So where we're going with this is today we're talking about online versus offline. What's better? Well, the reality is you need both.
Yeah.
That's the answer. With social media as well, not every platform is what's seen as an authority site. So it's not necessarily high ranking. LinkedIn is a little bit different. LinkedIn is seen as an authority site. So when people Google you once they've met you in real life, or if they've heard about you because somebody else has met you, LinkedIn is likely to show up ranking sometimes even higher than your website, depending on how much work you've done on your website to get your listings up there, what sort of SEO, on-page SEO you've done, or how your website's been built. We won't go into all the tech today. But supporting that with lots of social content, making yourself stalkable, is, as Pete said, is really, really important, and keeping it relevant and consistent. And it doesn't mean you have to post a million times a day like some strategies recommend. There's one strategy I've seen where you should be doing 4 stories a day, and I thought, look, the reality is I barely have enough time to have a piece of toast for lunch. So how am I going to do 4 stories today? Yes, you can pre-record stuff, you can do content batching and all that sort of thing, but the most important thing is actually being relevant right now.
Yep.
And if somebody meets you at a networking event, they're going to stalk you. So make it worth their time and energy.
Yep.
Turn up. The other thing that we wanted to share as well around that is social media is really important. And we have a theory that we call the empty bar theory.
We do. You don't. It's, well, or an empty restaurant is a good way to look at it. So
when you're going out dining, or you're going out to have a drink with friends, you'll be walking down a strip, there'll be a whole bunch of choices, and you're less likely to walk into the bar or the restaurant that's empty, right?
Yep.
Same goes with your social media.
You look at the full one and go, oh, they must be good.
Yeah, something's going on there.
Yeah, and go, oh, can we fit in there? Are there, look through the window. Are there tables free? You look in the other one and every table's free. You think, well,
you wonder why.
What? Yeah, why? That's right. So that's make your social media like a full restaurant.
Yeah, stay relevant and stay current.
Yep.
That's my points on that.
Sounds good.
Okay, next point. Getting yourself out there. Online groups. Should you be part of them? Such a good question.
Absolutely. So I've got heaps and heaps of groups that I'm part of.
Me too.
Which, the streaming software that I use that I'm just pointing to here, the cameras that I'm using. I researched what microphones to get, on groups. There's so many smart people out there in the world who are actually really, really willing to share their knowledge, and they put it in the group. Someone comes in, asks, going, hey, I wondered about blah, blah, blah. And someone will go, yep, I've used that lens on this camera and blah, and away they go. And it's like, it's absolutely fantastic. It's really a really nice ecosystem, a good community. So, definitely.
I am in a lot of online groups as well for different things that I'm involved with. I run a few different online groups too, or I'm admin on a few different online groups. Why I love being part of them, most importantly. So I probably am most in Facebook because I like to find out what's going on in the world, and I like humour. I'm in a lot of comedy groups and things like that. But one of the best reasons is I have a client that I secretly ghostwrite for, and I'm not going to tell you who, but I help this person get a lot of referrals because I am in a lot of first home buyer groups. So it gives you an idea of the industry. I'll give you a clue. This person is a mortgage broker. So I actually go in and I see what's going on. And that's really important because I can find out the questions that first home buyers are wanting to know from a mortgage broker. But at the same time, if people need help, because I'm not the mortgage broker, I'm somebody else outside of them. If I see people asking for help, I can then go, have you spoken to this person who also happens to be my client? Now, that's actually called social listening. And if you listen enough, even if you're just in a group and you're just a lurker, because lurkers serve their purpose too, if you're in there lurking, you can actually see the real questions that people need help with. And if you are the person that has the answer, boom, there it is. Suddenly that person not only gets help from you, they can become a client. So that's what I find it really good for. So you use them for learning and education.
Yep.
I use them for lurking. and lead generation. So there you go.
Love it.
Perfect. All right, next point. All right.
Okay.
Advertising. So I've already
Advertising.
mentioned advertising before, where somebody sent me an ad that said, you don't need to use Facebook advertising if you use this great organic strategy. But they used advertising to reach me.
Yep.
So there's a lot of debate about it. Most of the work that I've done over the years in social media has been creating engagement organically. So that's because a lot of the clients that we've taught and coached, they haven't had the money for paid for advertising, and it can be pretty tricky. So to be able to look at strategies for organic engagement has been what I've really focused on. However, Pete, you are quite a fan of paid for engagement, aren't you, and advertising?
Yep. I believe that it should be part of everybody's business marketing strategy at some stage. Be gentle. Don't just jump in and, we were talking to somebody who wanted to start spending $4,000 a month, and it's like, okay, that's cool.
Why?
No worries if you got that kind of money, but then what happens if you don't do it right and don't get the right results? Now, one of the keys that I want to mention today is there's actually 3 hidden audiences sitting right in your Facebook. We're just going to pick on Facebook today.
Yeah.
Okay. One of them, if you've set up your stuff right. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit technical. So here goes. Buckle up.
Good luck.
All right. This is for Larry.
Oh yeah, shout out to Larry.
Yeah. There's a little transparent pixel that Facebook installs, or you install from Facebook into your website. Various ways of doing it. It's basically a set of code which uses this pixel, so it triggers different things when people do things on your website, and it tracks everything they do. And if that sounds a bit scary, it's not really that scary. It's happening anyway. It's going to happen. So page refreshes, content views, clicks, how long you stayed on the page, which page you went to, that kind of thing. Google Analytics does the same thing as well, some very similar type of thing. Now, what that does, though, in Facebook, okay, is it builds up this database of usage of your website, and so you can go in and make an audience of everyone who's viewed those pages or done things on your website. So you go into the audience manager in the back end, in the business suite. I told you it was getting a little bit technical, and you create this audience out of people who have visited your website, and then you use that audience to make this other thing called a lookalike audience. Mm-hmm. Now, a lookalike audience is an extra audience built off the first audience. In fact, you're going to use a lookalike audience for all 3 of them that I'm talking about today, because what it does is on a variation from 1% up to 10%, they look like the people who have visited your website. So you don't have to go and find people that look like your potential customers, because you're using the database of page views. It's just a database because it collects the data in the back end, so it's a database. It uses the page views to go and find people who look the similar, like demographics, age, education,
similar needs,
where they live, similar needs, similar searches on the internet, all those kind of things, whether they have kids, married, or everything you can think of that you can collect about somebody that you're allowed to collect. Facebook uses that, and it does it anonymously, so you can't identify those people, but you can use that list of what people did on your website through the pixel to go and do that. Now, the second one is an email database. Number 2. Okay, so you've heard of things like MailChimp, or maybe you've collected some subscription emails and whatnot, and then you might have some sitting there. Yesterday, we connected up a client. They had 1,047 people in their database. So you can go in, again, once in the back end of Facebook, and go click, click, click. You can either do it manually by downloading it and loading it in there, or you can just now connect it straight. So they used MailChimp, so they connected it straight to MailChimp. Facebook goes into MailChimp, grabs all the people that they're allowed to, because some, if they've bounced or whatever, they get cleaned. So I told you it's going to get a little bit technical. So they get taken off the list, basically, and you can't market to them. So it grabs everything that you can, and again, loads it into Facebook, and then Facebook goes looking for those people if they've used the same email address. Mm-hmm. And when they find them, You can't, again, anonymous, it puts them into an audience. So from those 1,000 people, say 50% of them used the same email to log into Facebook as they used to buy your product on your website. Boom, there's 500 people in your audience straight away. Then you use the lookalike on top of it. You build a lookalike out of those people. And again, from variation of 1% through to 10%, 10% being quite a lot of variation, you could take 500 people and you could end up with like 200,000 people that look like your actual customers or people who have subscribed. Now, why that's important is these are people who have actually interacted with your business. They've given you an email address. They've been to your website. And the third thing I want to talk about is video views. There's a beautiful little audience sitting there of video views. So you go in, again, once into the back end of Facebook, and you go in to build an audience. You go to the audience manager, and you choose video views. Funny enough, it's very simple. And you go through, and you find all of the videos on your page, and it works extremely well if you've got lots of video views, but here's a little tip. You can boost the videos to get more views.
How convenient.
Ooh. So you start with getting, so you go through and you tick all of the videos that have got a reasonable amount of views. I don't mind if it's 47 or 4,700. It means that somebody looked at it. So go through, but obviously the more views the better. So go through and you add all of your videos into this one audience. Boom, 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 boom. So, who knows what you end up with. Facebook, once again, goes away and finds those people because they actually watched your videos, so they exist on Facebook. So we're not even theoretically talking about there's lots of people out there. These three audiences are people who have actually interacted with your business, like 100%. And then, of course, once you've got the video views sitting there as an audience, you do the lookalike.
Oh, right. I was like, do what? What do you do?
You do the lookalike trick again. So, yes, and I'm very excited as well. You do the lookalike audience again from the video views. So Facebook will go and find additional people who will be extremely similar to the people who have watched your videos.
Wow.
So all of these
three,
is
massive.
You don't even have to go anywhere else once you've just got these three audiences. Those are the best audiences that you can start with because, you don't go interest-based, whether they've done this and that. And then all you do is you target them geographically. So you just put them in your city. If you just want to do Auckland, just boom. And then start sending advertising to those audiences because they have interacted with your business in those three ways. They've either on your database of emails, they've been to your website, or they've watched a video, or they look extremely like those people.
Yeah.
And you might end up with 500,000 people that are your ideal customer.
Yeah.
So,
and why it works, because we're talking about online versus offline, is that it helps with familiarity, and you need a certain amount of touch points of your brand interacting with the human recipient at the other end for that brand to become familiar. So it's like driving past a billboard every day. Advertising serves that same purpose. There's actually a complex thing that happens in the brain when the brand becomes familiar. And we had a great example of somebody with a local brand that we did this for. We did some video content. We got video views for this person. We used advertising to help them get more brand saturation. This person then turned up at a bottle store to buy a bottle of wine, and the person serving this person said, "I recognise you. Aren't you this person?" I'm not going to say which brand it was, but that came through the familiarity of the brand in real life. They recognised the person's face through Facebook advertising. So that's one of those beautiful fusion moments where online and offline actually connected.
Yep.
And funnily enough, I believe a bottle of wine was bought and also the person got a new client. So there you go. It does work.
It does work. Absolutely. So there's your very quick but long-winded version from Pete Ward overview on advertising. So, and look, you've heard it called retargeting or remarketing. That's basically all it is. It's finding those audiences that have already interacted or are lookalike and just serving your ads up to them and don't let them get away. I think you can put them in an audience for 30 days and just chase them for 30 days is probably fine. Probably
especially
after that.
while the branding is still fresh in the minds.
Absolutely, yeah. So, just serve them up. Yesterday, went to look one of our clients' beds. Beds and Lounge Direct.
We love them.
Love them. And while I was there, I went to their website, and then for the rest of the day, I had about 20 ads from 20 different advertisers trying to sell me a bed, like literally all day. It's probably still there today. I haven't looked today, but just, because they saw what I was doing on somebody's website looking for a bed. Well, I wasn't really, I was just checking. And then all day, beds. Yep.
So these are strategies that we recommend for all of our clients, and that we give away to you guys through this lunch and learn session, because they work.
Yep.
It's really simple. So the big question today, online versus offline, which one is better? You need both.
You need both, absolutely.
Yeah. So even if you are super introverted, get out and people to the best of your ability and as much as you can tolerate. And if you are not super technical, there are ways and means of doing it really, really simply. In fact, it's some of the stuff we teach at the Accidental Marketers Academy. How convenient. Here's some information for you. If you do need some help getting yourselves out there, that's what we do. We help people through coaching, through education. We help you define your strategy, your objectives, what you want to achieve, and then help work with you to create the plan and even fill in the gaps of learning. So if you are scared of using Facebook because you might break it, darling, you are fabulous, but it's a pretty robust platform. We can help you with any gaps in your learning that you might need. If you're not confident going on camera, as an example, we even teach that too. So we would love to work with you. So to start that journey, it's really simple. You just need to head to our website, wedofamous.com. All the details are on the screen. And whether you want oversights and overviews, or a look into the wonderful matrix that is Pete Ward's brain, or if you want to learn more about words and language and telling your story, that's my skills and expertise. We work together to help create the unique solution for you and empower and inspire you to get yourself out there. That's basically it, isn't it?
That is it. That is.
Yeah,
there you go. Not too bad. 36 minutes on the clock.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Proud of us. Hey, look, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us today. And again, if you've got any questions with the platform that you're watching this video on, make sure you send us those questions through. Happy to answer your questions. And if you want to do the deeper work, and if you are committed to getting yourself out there, wedofamous.com.
Love it.
All right. Nice to see you. I'm Monique Bradley.
I'm Pete Ward.
See you next time.
See you later.
Bye.